I tell people this all the time. They spend so much of their marketing efforts marketing and using formulas that worked yesterday, then taking that same amount of time and energy and spending 20 to 30 hours learning something that is going to help them win tomorrow. So why are people still sitting down and trying to figure out the best lead program to buy? Why are they doing that? And why are they so focused on farming and learning, is core logic the best or is core facts the best? Is this and then they're paying for coaching programs to real estate agents that were successful 15 years ago and paying all that coaching rather than simply going online and saying, hey, you know what? The world has changed. I need to not be so focused on being an operator of my business. I need to find a way to become an expert in digital marketing. And if that is not a skill set that they want to enjoy, you better get a partner that is able to gauge that. Because if most people don't like social and they'll be like, oh, Brian, social never worked for me. Okay, well, who did your social? Oh, well, it was my, a guy that works for me's daughter did social. Okay. Was she an expert in it? Does she own a social media marketing company? Like, did you look at accounts that she's blown up? Oh, no. She says she knew Instagram really well. Newsflash, she sucked. Dude.
Yeah.
And that's why you didn't like social. And guess what? You had no idea or no basis of any skills to understand that, oh, this girl didn't know what she was doing because you didn't know what you were doing.
How do you judge them? That's why when people go like, how does that person work with that crappy loan officer? How does that person work with that shitty realtor? They don't know what a good realtor or good loan officer is because they don't know the difference.
Exactly.
So they don't know anything different from those people. And so then it's just like, that person's terrible. Oh, yeah. And the only reason I know they're terrible because I work with these people and I know how good that service is.
Exactly.
Because I'm experienced.
Exactly.
It's funny that you brought up partnering, like something that's always like the one thing that like when obviously I'm an agent, people always come after me, loan officers, I always go like, listen dude, like your product's not better. And I get more than just your stupid product, just so you know that.
Yeah.
I was like, I have learned so much from Taylor and Brian just in business, not even in loans, just business. So like something that's always impressed me with you two is that, and I've told Taylor this before, like he was a number one agent or loan officer at his company, and then he went and found you, and then you guys partnered up. And that's something that, like, how was it something that you said, hey, listen, you were already crushing it. You could have done this on your own. What made you being like, screw it, like I need to bring this person in to get to another level? Because like so many people like are so scared to partner up because they're like, well, I'm already crushing it there. So what was that mindset change for you to be like, this is, and were you already looking for someone or Taylor was just someone that came out of it?
I got the best piece of advice from one of my mentors. And I always tell people as a mentor, don't ever like write somebody on Instagram and be like, hey, be my mentor. If you want somebody to honestly be, help you mentor, find somebody to consume their content, learn enough about that content, engage in that content. And I had a kid yesterday send me a text message. Kid's name's Noah. He owns Noah's Detailing in Temecula. This kid comments on everything of mine, always tags people in. He's always doing everything he can to push my brand. So he wrote me a DM yesterday and was like, hey, Brian, I have a question for you. I'm getting a loan. You told me to not go through you because it's the home builder's giving us $18,000 of a credit. Can I pay you just to like over this? So I was like, dude, I'll call you at 4:30. Called him at 4:30 or whatever. Called him up over the phone and spent 15 minutes with him. He wrote me back like couldn't like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, can I detail your car, do this or whatever on that? And somebody that gets to a standpoint that would be mentoring. We never feel like, oh, we deserve the right to be a mentor, right? But what we do notice are people that consistently are our biggest raving fans, and we want to give back to them, right? So when I say I have a mentor with these people, I didn't pay for them. I never hit them up. What I honestly did was try to give to them in any way I could, whether that was just sending them an email of a tip I noticed or this or that. And so they were paid the favor, whether it was at a meeting, they would take time to talk to me. And one of the guys that talked to me was a guy named Dan Hansen. Dan Hansen used to run Countrywide. He was number 2 behind Anthony Shea at Loan Depot. And I asked him and I said, Dan, you were running iMortgage, right? Which was really big. Why the heck did you decide to partner up with Loan Depot, go from being the man at iMortgage to now being, nobody even knows your name at Loan Depot because Anthony Shea is so much bigger than you. And he struck me and he hit me something at heart. He goes, Brian, no matter how good of a businessman you are, you have strengths and you have weaknesses. And you have stuff you just absolutely hate to do, right? He goes, so if you want to find out if it's a right partnership, you write down the 3 things that you were absolutely terrible at and what the thing you hate doing the absolute most is in your business. And when a partner that comes along you or somebody comes along, they love doing those 3 things that you suck at, and they love doing the thing you hate the most at, and you know that they're loyal and they got to a certain point on thing. That's what you want in a partner. So for me, what I hate to do is the super granular, detailed things. So like for an example, I'm a vision guy. I have a vision and I execute on it, and I will throw caution sometimes by the wayside. I'll say, okay, hey, you know what? What's the worst thing that's going to happen to me? Okay, I'm going to lose $100,000 on this. Can I come back from it? Yep. Okay, what's the upside? Okay, cool. Let's roll out, right? And that's the way my mind works, right? Well, what I'm bad at is analyzing the risk on something, which is what every visionary is bad at, right? They have a very hard time seeing how all the different ways your project could fail, and you also have a hard time watching out for your best interest because everyone wants to kind of take advantage of you.
For sure.
And that's what you do. So I also absolutely hate being the bad guy. I hate it. I hate it. Like, I've had to learn to now. I have no problem like coming down on employees, coming down on people, but it's a learned skill and it's something I don't like to do. Well, when I met Taylor and Taylor sat down with me for an interview, when I was he came in and had a freaking list of about 37 of the most detailed questions I possibly could have ever once thought of in my life. And I've interviewed hundreds of loan officers in my life. Every single granular detail, they were organized in a specific fashion on it. And so I brought him in as a loan officer because I was so impressed with I'm like, okay, this dude loves living in the details, right? He is OCD to the max. And then more importantly,
you just got to check out his car.
Exactly. I was like, bro, at the time he was driving a 2006 or 2007 Charger.
But clean.
Yeah,
super clean.
Super clean. I think he literally sold the car for like $17,000 and he paid like 22 brand new or whatever for it, like 14 years prior.
Yeah.
And then 2, when things would arise in business, Taylor would be like, oh, bro, I wouldn't do that. That dude's a dick. He's going after you for this, and this. I was like, I don't want to do these. He's like, give me the phone. I'll call him and tell him off. And I was like, holy crap. I just found a human being that loves being bad cop. And he gets so excited to try to rip apart how something could be successful or not because he is so non-risk adverse that he will analyze everything to the absolute detail to make sure that there is zero chance of failure.
He drove a 2006 Charger.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was so afraid all this money would be taken from him, even though he was making $400,000 or $500,000 a year, right? So when I saw that, I then knew, holy crap, I've gotten this far with these giant errors in my game. Dude, this dude fills it. And what's Taylor's thing? Taylor hates being on camera.
Yes.
Taylor hates having attention on him. And Taylor absolutely cannot see vision. Like, he just can't. Like, it's just, he's so in the details, he can never see above the details. I was like, hey, Taylor, I think we should do this, and this. I think we should do radio. Hey, I think we should put out a bunch of content. Hey, I think you should go to real estate offices and start educating them. He's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want that spotlight. So I decrease his anxiety so much by doing the things I love, and he decreases my anxiety by doing all the things I hate. It's a beautiful partnership. And then 2, you can't be afraid to call each other out on things. Like if Taylor's being a dick about something, I'll go in his office and be like, bro, you should not have handled it like that with that realtor, bro. Like, you came off too hard. You need to soften up, brother. And he'll be like, all right, bro. And because he knows it's coming from a place of love, right? And that's how you find a partnership. You know what I mean?
And then you guys were crushing at Loan Depot. And it's so crazy when I talk to people so scared to leave companies, and you guys were crushing it. And then, like, what made you guys just have the balls or the reasoning or whatever it was to be like, F this, like, we're going to go to Start Modern. Like, this is what we're going to do. Like, because you're already like, it's like everything was going well.
Yeah.
To then jump into a space. And then it's like, I remember when Taylor was like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, bro, like when you would talk to me about office spend, I'm like, I'm paying for all this. Now you're paying for it. Welcome to this world, dude. Like this broke, you got to pay for it. So what was that mindset, or why was that change so important to you guys?
You know what? I was tired of making other people money for 16 years when I was doing all the work. So like I sat down and was like, okay, you know what? I drive all my business. I get no business at all. Loan Depot doesn't like, hey, Brian, here was business, or Guarantee Rate was like, oh, hey, Brian, here's a free loan. They did absolutely nothing in terms of giving me my business. And then 2, what I realized is I was at a point in my career, in my life. I was 37 or something at the time. And I was like, okay, I've learned everything I could possibly know. and I want to sit in the chair that Anthony Shea sits in, right? There's people that are out there, like if you're at a company and you look at the owner of your company and you think, whether it's your ego or whether it's your ambition, and you're like, I want your chair. I want his seat. And I always wanted their seat. Whereas other people, they're at a company and they're like, dude, I don't want all that risk.
Yeah.
I don't want all that. Like, sweet. I would much rather make 50% of what they make and not have to worry about those headaches.